On the highest hill, where the grass grew wild and the wind never rested, there stood a single tree. Its roots ran deep into the earth, and its branches reached toward the sky like outstretched arms. But the tree was not content. Every day, it watched the river in the valley below. The river flowed freely, dancing over stones, winding through meadows, touching everything it passed. Birds drank from it. Deer came to its banks. Children played in its shallows, their laughter rising like music. The tree watched and felt a heaviness in its heartward. The river sees the world, the tree whispered. It moves. It changes. It goes wherever it wishes. But I am trapped here, rooted to one place, unable to move even a single step. Seasons came and went. Spring brought blossoms the tree barely noticed. Summer offered warmth the tree did not feel. Autumn painted the valley gold, but the tree saw only what it could not have. Every morning, the same prayer rose from its roots: if only I could move like the river. One year, the rains did not come. The sky remained cloudless, day after day. The grass turned brown. The earth cracked. And in the valley below, the river began to shrink. At first, it was just the edges that disappeared. Then the current slowed. The river that had once rushed and played now barely whispered. Animals came to drink and found only mud. The children stopped coming altogether. The tree watched from the hill as the river grew smaller and smaller, until one morning, it vanished completely. Only a dry scar remained in the earth where water used to flow. The tree stood silent, confused. How could something so free, so alive, simply disappear? Days passed. The heat pressed down. The tree's own leaves began to curl and fade. Its branches grew brittle. Deep underground, its roots stretched and searched, reaching further into the darkness, seeking moisture that was no longer there. Then one night, something unexpected happened. A small bird landed on the tree's highest branch. She was thin and exhausted, her feathers dull from the long, dry summer. "Please," the bird whispered, "may I rest here tonight? Everywhere else has fallen, but you still stand." The tree said nothing, but the bird stayed. She tucked herself against the bark and slept. In the morning, another bird came. Then another. By evening, a dozen birds had gathered in the tree's branches, refugees from the dying valley, seeking the only shelter that remained. "Why do you stay here?" the tree finally asked. "I cannot move. I cannot bring you water. I cannot take you to better places." An old crow, perched on the strongest branch, looked at the tree with knowing eyes. "You do not need to move," the crow said. "You need only to remain. Everything else in this valley has dried up or blown away. But you stayed. Your roots held. And because you could not leave, you became the one thing we could return to." The tree had no words. That night, clouds finally gathered in the sky. Rain began to fall, softly at first, then stronger. The tree's leaves caught the water and channeled it down its trunk. The rain pulled around its roots, soaking into the cracked earth. And in the valley below, the river began to return. As dawn broke, the tree looked down at the valley with different eyes. The river was flowing again, silver and bright. But now the tree understood something it had never seen before. The river was beautiful because it moved, but it could also disappear. It could dry up. It could change course and leave entire valleys behind. The tree could not move, but it would never abandon this hill. Its roots would hold the earth together when storms came. Its branches would shelter those who had nowhere else to turn. Its leaves would catch rain and feed it back to the ground. The river had freedom, but the tree had something else. It had permanence, steadiness, a place in the world that could not be taken away. The birds began to sing as the sun rose, and for the first time in many seasons, the tree did not wish to be anything other than what it was. It stood tall on the hill, its roots deep and strong, its branches open to the sky. And it was enough.